start from revenue. By August, he said they have collected all the revenue. From where? Extorting the people through higher taxes, through higher tariffs. What are they producing that will make the revenue to increase? Tinubu's government is serving the powerful, not the people. Did not even pay condolences to the hundreds that were massacred in Katsina, in Zamfara, worshipping God. And he's a Muslim. He picked another fellow Muslim ticket. The young Sumter was massacred and died. The president could not recognize such terrible loss in a broadcast. 29-year-old lawyer, my learned colleague. And broadcasting is part of the general entertainment in a way.
All right, let's move on. What's your take on the president's independence speech to Nigerians, and how do you react to that?
It is very sad that President Tinubu's speeches, almost all of them, are now becoming a propaganda machine. 100% propaganda. No element of truth. No element of substance. None. It's unfortunate that any time now you sit down, you want to listen to the president talk, what you'll be hearing is complete propaganda, devoid of substance, devoid of truth. And making such broadcasts when people are suffering and dying out of hunger and hardship is disheartening. Throughout the whole speech, did you hear him mention how much Nigeria is owing now? Nigeria is owing $100 billion. It's about 150 trillion naira. And Tinubu borrowed almost half of this amount within 2 years. And he's telling you about economy improving. Everything his government is doing now is based on rebasing. Because they cannot stand up with the truth of the facts. They'll tell you they have rebased GDP. They'll tell you they have rebased the inflation in order to manipulate the figures. They'll tell you the hoax that has become this government. Part of the propaganda they used to come into government is that by 2030, they will make Nigerian economy $1 trillion economy. After they are rebasing, the Nigerian economy, the GDP is about $243 billion. The president is touting that the GDP has increased by 4.23%. 4.23% of the GDP. Give them even $280 billion. They dash them that because at times they would issue the propaganda that is $280 billion. Because basically it's about 372 point something trillion naira. It's about $243 billion. But give them even $280 billion. Growing at the rate of 4.24%. Meaning each year there will be a growth of about $11.9 billion. In 5 years, it will be about $60 billion. If you add that to $280 billion, it will be about $340 billion by 2030. Not even up to about 30% of the propaganda that this government is deceiving people about $1 trillion 2030. Creating false hopes, creating false impression. Look at that speech. Did not even pay condolences to the hundreds that were massacred in Katsina, in Zamfara, worshipping God. And he's a Muslim. He picked another fellow Muslim ticket. Muslims dying in droves. Nothing to signify the level of security. And you can see how the young Somto Chukwu Maduago was murdered as a result of the insecurity problem. That is why people will tell you that when it comes to insecurity, you can't allow a criminal's 1% success. Because that 1% success can lead to irreparable, irreplaceable loss, which will be 100% to the people that are the victims of this. The young Sumter was massacred and died. The president could not recognize such terrible loss in a broadcast. 29-year-old lawyer, my learned colleague. And broadcasting is part of the general entertainment in a way. They educate, they inform. And yet you have a president that is dishing out propaganda in the name of broadcast on an independent an independence celebration. Now, what are the contents of his speech? He told you that inflation has gone down to 20 point something percent. Rebased. Please, has the cost of fuel per liter gone down? Has the cost of PMS, which is powering the whole inflation determination, has it gone down? Where did they get that figure from? Rebased. The cost of food, the only ones that have gone down are the ones that they harmfully ordered their importation. Rice, maize, and another crop. They imported it in order to create the impression that things are not going haywire. So if you go to the market, you will see the prices of all those ones that are not being imported still very high and has even gone up. And then those ones that they are now importing the expired rice and all those things. Because they say that these are some of the rice that they've stored abroad for more than 10 years. Why make the farmers to go and suffer under the security to produce and they cannot sell now because you have ordered importation when you know that the prices are going haywire? Unhealthy food. And it's a president that is telling you things are improving. If people are not dying in your village because of hunger and hardship, they are dying in my village in Soka because of hunger and hardship. So all those talk, they are simply bewitching Nigeria. I have said it before. And whatever APC says about itself is a lie. But they have upgraded now from the level of lies to the level of bewitchment through enchantments. That's what they're doing. Falsehood is no longer enough. They've now grown to enchantments so that they can bewitch. Now, what was the president saying? In the economy, he wants to let you know that non-oil export is improving. On what? Let's start from revenue. By August, he said they have collected all the revenue. From where? Extorting the people through higher taxes, through higher tariffs. What are they producing that will make the revenue to increase? Tinubu's government is serving the powerful, not the people. Can you imagine? In that speech, he said they have shared 330 billion naira in social investment program. To who? They say 8 million homes. They say 25,000 per month. Some have received 2 months. Where are they? People are moving more into poverty, and you're saying you're sharing money. But here is the annoying thing. They have shared 332 billion unaccounted money to people that probably some of them have died so long ago. Because to me, in my own opinion, they're just sharing that money amongst themselves. Recalling what happened, that EFCC is investigating that ministry. One person being found to be cutting away 40 billion naira. Tinubu's humanitarian minister, within days or weeks of operating as a minister, billions, 3.2 billion then was brought out. And they said that we are going to give 500 and something million to 4 states. And almost 3 billion was used, they say, consultancy. You will see a minister getting as big as 400 and something million. They say consultancy to tell us how many number of poor people in the states. So that money you saw, in my own opinion, is being shared among the powerful and the people who are students in the name of Nel Fund, in the name of youth credo, or what do you call it? Corporation credo, youth credo. They say they are lending money to the youths. They will borrow to youths, lend to industries. But they will bring money in the name of social investment program and share among the powerful in the name of sharing it to homes. Assuming you're even sharing it to homes, you're teaching them to eat fish. So after the 3 months, what will each person use 75,000 to do after 3 months? No, what can 25,000 naira afford you? If you had used that 330 billion naira, for instance, in power, you know what it would have done? It will help most of those homes you're seeing to be able to start doing something and their children from their house, because there is availability of power. If Awolowo is alive today, he will use that money and provide free education to the children, not borrowing money to the indigent students. He said they have borrowed about 140 or thereabout billion naira. They have borrowed to indigent students to go to school through Nel Fund. They will still come back to pay. Yet you're sharing. If you don't have money to provide education, healthcare, then you're sharing money among the powerful. So all those revenue you're seeing is more extortion from Nigerian people. A president heartlessly removed subsidy, and he's saying that it is only the very few corrupt people that we are getting from subsidy. What a lie. When you remove subsidy, the poor people that are using fuel across Nigeria started paying 1,000 naira almost, instead of the 195 naira they were paying. And you're saying they are not benefiting from it. No. Nigerians, we are benefiting. But here is the catch. I have never supported retaining the subsidy. But what I was fighting for is removing the corruption in the subsidy. And when you do it, the price will come down immediately. What has been happening is higher prices, not that they gave any subsidy whatsoever. Incompetence and corruption is what has been happening, not that they gave subsidy in the first place. Why? Oil is our product that is running like water for us. Your own is just to scoop it. And rather than scooping it and boiling it, look, refining is one of the cheapest, easiest thing to do. Why am I saying this? If all these young boys in the Niger Delta has acquired the technology and they are refining oil in their backyard, and we don't have any cry that there is fake oil, that means Nigerians have acquired the know-how to refine oil, rather than empowering these children, telling them, come out, teaching them how to do things without pollution, so that you will have refineries everywhere, like we used to have it in the Southeast those days, those of palm oil. Every home was producer of oil. That was why it was surplus and was sustaining the. What is wrong in making oil the same thing? Teaching them the technology. It is their product. They're entitled to benefit from it. And now, the government will withdraw giving people licenses to refine oil. The government will monopolize the whole refineries and be spending billions of dollars, including this government that is not working. That is what is making the price of oil to go high. You're importing all the oil you need, and you're doing it in dollars. The prices will go high, so you're not giving subsidy. Nigerians are paying for the incompetence and corruption of the ruling class. So what was I preaching for? Remove that incompetence. How? Privatize the refineries if you cannot repair them. And when you sell the 4 refineries to 4 different people, you have had 4 competitors. Now you did not do it. Dangote now came in, and all the refineries have crumbled. And then you're saying he's a monopolist. No. Dangote is a smart person. He's just doing what we were taught to do when I was reading business administration. Come out to the system, identify a problem, and bring solution, and you become a billionaire. You become a trillionaire. So what Dangote does, being a smart business person, a Nigerian one for that matter, he will come and identify a problem. He knows that because of the incompetence and corruption of the government, they will never be able to repair those refineries. So when he wanted to buy the refineries, the federal government had already sold it to him. And incompetently, they reversed it. Since they sold it to him and reversed it, from about 2007, those refineries have still been in a state of disrepair. And Nigeria has spent almost more than $18 billion or more than $10 billion trying to repair them. And the money he used to build one of the largest refineries on earth is even smaller than if you check all the total money that have been pumping into those refineries to repair them. Corruption. This is what is making the price of your oil to be high. When they do all those corruption, when they are now importing, when Nigeria is consuming like 30 million liters, they will say it's 60 million liters. That is what's making, and it's the people that are paying for all those subsidies. That is what is making, purportedly making those subsidies. When you remove those things, assuming that we have now 5 major competitors like Dangote, that's when you will know that the Dangote will be selling that oil even 300 naira a liter, and nothing will happen. Because just look at what is happening in the telecommunication industry. When Nigeria wanted to start telecommunication industry, people were paying us billions of dollars to get the license because they know that we have the market. And when they got the license, they did what we did. They established telecommunication industry. Till today, the cost of our data, telecommunication, has not gone haywire relative to the economic environment. But the fuel, the oil that we have in our own land, somebody will tell you subsidy. There's nothing like subsidy in the first place. It's inefficiency and corruption. So Tinubu removing oil subsidy. The first interview I granted 24 hours after removing, I said, sir, please don't. What you should do is to ensure that there are regular supply and that there is no monopoly, and the price will come down on its own. Because get another Dangote, get 2 more Dangote, supply crude oil to them, and Nigeria will become net exporters of fuel, and the price will come down on its own. That's market forces. So let them not bamboozle you. What Tinubu did, and I'll tell you how Tinubu operates. Why I say he's serving the power for not the people. When they want to take policy, what they're looking for is how much money will it give us? How much revenue? Not how will it conduce to the welfare of the people. The broadcast is the 3rd time, meaning he's approaching his 3rd year in office. And some dimwits are still telling you that the administration is too young. 4 years is the term of office. Any policy that 100 days after you proclaim that policy, that people have not started seeing the fruit of it, It's a scam. It's a sham. When you remove that property subsidy, I say, sir, this is unsustainable. And that is what is happening. You know, when they say Nigerian economy is stable, profound respect, it's not true. Nigerian economy is not stable. Nigerian economy is stagnant. These are two different things. Why am I saying it's not stable? If it is stable, why would ASU be threatening to go on strike or they're on strike? If it is stable, why would health officials, doctors and nurses, be going on strike? If it is stable, why is Dangote and Pengassin trying to kill themselves in the oil that we produce? No, it's not stable. The hunger and hardship is increasing. It is stagnant. When you see Naira, they say it is stabilizing at 1,400. Shame unto you. Naira that you met 400 and something Naira. You're saying it is stable at 1,400, 1,500. It reached 1,800. No. Stability has to do that with the fact that you're coming to the desired level of value that you want. The whole world say Naira is undervalued. Meaning there is nothing with good policy that would have made Naira to climb above 1,000 Naira. Imagine SEFA being more powerful than Naira. And you're saying the economy is stable. No, the economy is stagnant. It has come to that level, and because they lack innovation, they are borrowing everything they need. No innovation, no development of the economy. It has stagnated. If it is stable, then it has come to a level where people will no longer be hungry or where things will not be hard. But because it's stagnated, people are suffering. So there is nothing in that speech except propaganda. He has borrowed Nigeria into slavery. There's one thing he said in that speech. He said he inherited near collapse economy. Please, compared to what you inherited and what we are seeing now, what you inherited is a paradise economy. The total debt then was some 7 trillion naira. It's not always happens. And they put like 22 trillion naira or so, which they produce as in locally, as in Central Bank. Please, last year alone, Tinubu has borrowed 21 point something billion dollars. Compare it. They want to push all the blame to Buhari. Buhari maintained subsidy and Naira maintained the value at 420 till he left. And you're saying you inherited near collapse economy? When Jonathan removed subsidy partially, he established Shopee. When Abacha removed subsidy partially, he established PTF. And what they were using it for, we know. When Tinubu removed subsidy completely, he established no developmental program. What are they using it for? Awarding a contract for 15 trillion naira, where himself and his family has interest to their friends. And you're saying you inherited near collapse economy, and you're using money to buy private jets, 150 billion naira, and you're driving on Cadillac Beast. Please, did your predecessor drive on such cars? Did they ride on such plane? That is what is killing our economy. You did not inherit near collapse economy, sir. You are collapsing the economy through profligacy. He's running the highest bureaucracy in Nigeria. This is the person that's telling you he inherited a near collapse economy is employing 48 ministers. And he inherited a near collapse economy. And more than half of the ministers, more than 2/3 are doing nothing. And this is the person who is telling you he's the most profligate president. He has spent more nourishing his empire. And he's telling you he inherited near collapse. No, it is now that we are trying to collapse with the debt of 150 trillion naira and no productivity. Let them tell me one product Nigeria is producing that we are boasting that we are exporting. They say non-export has increased. This and that. No, the revenue that has increased came from the extortion of the Nigerian people. So that broadcast for me.